All right, so what's the fair number of wins for Texas A&M this upcoming season here in football? It is TexAgs Rewind presented by T-Mobile. They want you to visit T-Mobile.com/acrossamerica to learn how you can get value and coverage through T-Mobile. Answer below what your thoughts are. We thought, I think we both think 10 is a fair number for right now, right, Billy?
Yeah, I think 10's a fair number of expectation. I think they can go above that. I don't think 10 by any stretch will be easy for them to get to. I think the Aggies will be better than all but one of the teams they play in the regular season if they're the team I think they're going to be, and if I'm gauging the SEC properly. Obviously, somebody's going to jump up and be better than we think, like say an Ole Miss last year. But even then, I think they just come up to A&M's level. And it's just, I'll put it this way: I think A&M will be as good or better than whoever they take the field against on Saturdays next year, save maybe probably Alabama, who I think will be the best team in college football. Doesn't mean you can't beat them.
Yep. Well, we saw that last year. Sorry, we had that on the show. Billy, obviously, here with us for the last hour of the show. We also had Richard Zane around Aggieland on here, the baseball bunch getting ready for this huge series against South Carolina. And the Go Hour talked about this same topic, which I want you to comment below. It's TexAgs Rewind. So, OB, we teased it. So what is a fair number of victories for Texas A&M in your eyes?
Well,
based on what we know with the young talent quarterback situation, but also understanding that other teams in the division might have some questions as well.
10.
I think 10 is the right number.
10. I think we're at that point. Jimbo Fisher's into 5 years here, and I know there's some issues. Rarely are you going to have everything perfect or close to perfect. I think we're at a point where we should expect that. That said, your expectations can change as the season goes on based on injury or the way, maybe somebody starts playing even better than you thought, and then you go, you should win 11 or 12.
There's going to be somebody on your schedule that is going to play better than we expect, and there's probably going to be someone on your schedule that's not as good as you expect.
I think even Alabama has some issues. I would just say, tell me the team that talent-wise is better than A&M on the A&M schedule.
Well, we did this the other day, but I'm going to reset it here. Going through the schedule, just tell me the maybe games, the games that could be tight.
Well, there's a lot of maybes.
Sure, but Sam Houston a win.
Yeah.
Should be a win. Appalachian State.
Should be a win.
Miami,
it's a maybe, but I think A&M wins it.
I think it's more A&M than maybe, but yes, it's a maybe just because.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's a team that's capable of playing well, and if you're not, if you're messing around, you could lose it.
I think Arkansas is tough.
I do. It's a maybe game, but I think A&M should win it. I think A&M has more talent.
Mississippi State.
I think A&M has more talent.
Close. I mean, it's one of those that could be, especially on the road, I think could be difficult. No, but
definitely on the road makes it difficult.
But DJ Durkin maybe having a different approach than we saw.
How about Charles Cross isn't out there playing left tackle?
There you go. There you go. Alabama on the road is Alabama. We know how hard that is, but they have questions on their offensive line.
Yeah, but they're going to be favored, and rightly so.
South Carolina on the road.
They've gotten better offensively, but A&M's a better team.
Ole Miss.
A&M's a better team. Because, see, people are going to say, this is what drives me crazy about media now. They'll say, well, A&M has these, quarterback questions.
So
but all of a sudden, Jackson Dart,
who may not even be the starter.
I'm thinking, so Jackson Dart had a few good games in the Pac-12. Tell me about all those good games KJ Costello had, or the guy at Georgia.
Well, some people think Luke Altmaier might be the starter there. That is not.
Okay.
So
all right.
There you go. And again, we only saw him in a sample set size against Baylor, but that's out there. Would you pitch Micah on Sunday knowing the offense?
Nope.
No. I would not pitch him on Sunday because South Carolina is pitching backwards. They're throwing their best guy on Sunday anyway.
Noah Hall goes Sunday?
No, Will Sanders goes Sunday.
Oh, yeah. I like Hall better, but the numbers are similar.
Actually, it's the inconsistency of Noah Hall is the reason why that hasn't been the case. They've tried to ambush some guys. Friday, they're throwing an 0-0 guy with a 6 ERA. It's going to go from the exact opposite on how A&M is going to pitch this weekend as far as what you've got out there. And I just think you got to give Micah the Dallas the ball and have him have that success and have something to build off of, because he's got a lot longer memory on how he's ridden through the ways of college baseball than Ryan Prager does. Ryan Prager is, I was good, I need to be good again. Micah Dallas is, I know what I have to do to be my best self, because he's, a fourth-year guy in college.
I agree. I don't care if you throw him on Saturday, on Monday, on Thursday morning. It doesn't matter. Micah needs to have a good start. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter what day he pitches on. It matters how he pitches on that day. And getting him back into a groove heading into postseason would be an enormous development for this team. Enormous. Because I think the way Nathan Detmer is going, he may have a bad start still in his tank just because that's normal, that's baseball. But the way the stuff's coming out of his hand, it's going to be tough for a lot of hitters going forward.
Is it surprising they're having the success they're having recently without Micah pitching well?
A little bit, I would say. Yeah, I mean, you're getting one reliable start each weekend. And we've talked about how good Brad Rudis has been at times. But last weekend wasn't very good. Phil Schloss took him out after one inning. They still come back and win that game. I mean, he was really good the weekend before. They win that game, they win that series. So they're doing it without, good starting pitching in 2 of the 3 games, and they've won 4 series in a row in the best conference and the best division in baseball. Yes, it's a little bit surprising. Very surprising.
Except that they're averaging 12 runs a game in Game 3. Mm-hmm. They're pounding people's – when the pitching staff gets to even, that's when the offense on this team dominates.
Okay.
I mean, on Game 1, if you're up against an SEC first-round draft pick, it's like Detmer against whoever it is, that's an even game. In Game 2, where A&M has struggled with pitching, that's why they've been down or even in these series 1-1. And then you get to Game 3, and you are lighting people up. So the pitching part, yes, but the hitting is covering up the weakness that is Game 3 starting for the Aggies right now.
All right, quickly, let's do the keys to this series this weekend. Richard, you start us off.
Oh, I was hoping to go last so I could just say I agree. But my key, getting another quality start from Nathan Detmer and having Micah Dallas right the ship.
I agree. But I like the fact that this team against South Carolina will be able to pitch, like I just said. But I also think how they've struggled in some of the pitching that's going to go against them. I think the bats on a hot weekend, when the wind's going to be blowing out, I like the swing path. I like how A&M is swinging the bat more than I like what South Carolina did last week against Alabama. This is built week after week after week to the offenses at the positions it's at. And I don't think South Carolina is going to bring 2 or 3 pitchers in here that are going to look better than what Arkansas did, Georgia, Vandy. They're going to be a little bit less on the pitching staff than even those teams were.
I'm interested to see how Jacob Palish and Brad Rudis get used. They've both got a lot of bullets in the tank. And I think those 2 guys could play huge roles in A&M's success this weekend, or they're going to have unless you just get a brilliant start on Friday and Saturday, but then that would leave Sunday for maybe Rudis and Palish. So those 2 guys, having them fresh, I think it's a really good thing. I think the coaching staff likes where they're at, having all those guys refueled, or both those guys refueled. And then it's just about being who you are, man. And a little message here for folks listening in town or wherever you're listening, get your butt to Olsen Field this weekend. This is an incredible coaching job, but it's an incredible response by a group of young men who I think embody a lot of the qualities that a lot of Aggies hold dear, right? The toughness, the grit, the competitive spirit. They've earned the right to play in front of the most electric atmosphere in the SEC. And Olsen Field, for as much as it needs to be done cosmetically, when there's people in it, it's still one of the best in the country. So I'm looking forward to great atmospheres on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Section 203 and the rest of the 12th man making some noise and having an impact on this game and on this series, because if you do it this weekend and you do it next weekend, you're going to get postseason baseball in your place where you can do it in a regional. So in the same way that the 12th man had an impact on that A&M Alabama football game, in the same way that those crowds had an impact on the 2022 recruiting class, go have your impact on this baseball season and potential future baseball recruiting classes.
This Monday evening, it was announced that Texas A&M's women's tennis team is somehow only the number 7 overall seed in the 2022 NCAA
The number one team
tournament.
in the country?
Yeah, the number 1 team's a 7 seed. Don't know how that makes any sense, but they will host the first 2 rounds right here in Bryan College Station at the Mitchell Tennis Center. It's A&M's 22nd consecutive time to make the NCAA tournament. They'll open the tournament on Friday afternoon. They'll host Texas A&M Corpus Christi. First serve set for 1 p.m. Central Time, and you can stream that through the Tennis One app. The winner of that match today will face either Baylor or Washington, who are both in town as well, on Saturday afternoon. Men's tennis is headed up to Waco. They're ranked number 25 in the country. They'll begin the NCAA tournament this weekend as well. They'll face the Tulsa Hurricane tonight. 6 o'clock first serve, also streaming through the Tennis One app. They'll face either Baylor or Abilene Christian on Saturday should they take down the Hurricane. Texas A&M baseball is up to number 13 in the latest Division D1 baseball poll. They took down UT Arlington 10-5 Tuesday night. A&M now 9-1 in midweek contests this year. Dylan Rock stays hot, 3 for 4, a home run, 3 RBI, a triple shy of the cycle. A&M scored 3 runs in the 5th and 5 in the 6th to put the game out of reach. They're winners of 4 consecutive SEC series. They'll hope to continue that streak as South Carolina comes to town this weekend. Friday night's game is a 6:30 p.m. start. Saturday's game starts at 2 p.m. and Sunday 1 p.m. It's going to be hot. Bring your sunscreen. All 3 games are going to be streaming on the SEC Network Plus, so we'll be locked in on baseball this weekend. Texas A&M softball dropped both ends of a doubleheader in H-Town on Wednesday. They fell to Houston by matching scores of 3-2 in both the first and the second game, losing the second one in 8 innings. They'll wrap up the regular season this weekend, hosting the SEC regular season champions and the 5th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks at Davis Diamond. Friday night's game was scheduled to begin at 6 o'clock, but it just changed in the last 30 minutes to a 7 o'clock first pitch. Apparently, Arkansas had some travel issues, so everything's good to go. 7 o'clock tonight, streaming on the SEC Network Plus. Tomorrow's game's a 2:30 p.m. start. That'll be televised on the main channel, SEC Network, and then Sunday's a noon start, also streaming on the SEC Network Plus. Men's golf, how about this? Sam Bennett became the first ever Texas A&M representative to be named a finalist for the prestigious Ben Hogan Award. He is, according to GolfStat, the number 3 ranked individual in the entire country. His stroke average of 69.42 would be a program record. The winner will be announced on May 23rd at a black tie dinner at the Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth. And more award news, Brandon Miller, a middle distance star, was named a Bowerman Award pre-conference championship watch list member. That is the Heisman of track, given annually to the top male and female collegiate athletes. Semifinalists will be announced June 21st before the finalists announced on June 28th. Brandon Miller's a 3-time All-American, so he also is currently the 4th fastest 800-meter runner in the country.
What do you think about all this movement in NIL restructuring and guardrails? Is it just talk about nothing, or something?
I think there's a lot of talk about nothing because I think they have to, and I think this guy at Colorado banging the drum, and I'm fine. Like, I like what they're saying, and I've been saying a lot of the same stuff, but the problem is this stuff about that they're going to go back and retroactively punish teams. It's so silly, and
you can't.
The states aren't going to, the state law is not going to allow that. So good luck with that one, with whoever they want to go after. And it's funny, everybody's like, oh, I think I don't know this for sure, but I think of the true freshmen, there's like 11 of them on campus. I think 2 of them even have NIL deals at this point. It's not what people have made it out to be. It's just, I've said it from day one. I've been right since day one. If anything, I think Aggies need to, and a lot of folks listening really have done so through Stacked and on TexAgs, but I think Aggies need to, realize that I'm not telling anyone how to spend their money, but I'm saying, like, just if you want to know, like, is A&M like light years ahead of the NIL curve, like everyone's saying, my answer would be a flat no. Not even close. When you see what other places are doing with stuff, you see Bijan in a Lamborghini, and in Texas, their coaches retweet that and quote tweet it. Like, what's wrong with this world when the running backs coach at Texas is like, man, I might need a ride from you. And that's classic Texas. Lamborghini's perfect for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what they are. They're style over substance all day, every day. It's what they do. It's what they've always done. It's been their problem really since Darrell K. Royal left. And for Mac Brown, it was his problem for the longest time. It was so much hype and style over substance, and they'd just go get their teeth kicked in by OU. And not win championships for 6 or 7 years, whatever it was. But then Vince Young came along. And say what you want about Vince Young and say what you want about Colt McCoy. But they finally got the QBs that they might, VY had some style about him, but man, that there was substance to his game. And that was a tough, competitive winner. Like, he was a dog on that football field. And then so was Colt McCoy. But historically, they've been way too much like Chris Sims, and they might be doing the same thing now with Ewers, but they've been way too much about the hype, and that's why this whole Arch Manning thing is just classic. It's classic Texas. Like, they want to get him as much for the headlines that come with it. They want Bijan driving a Lamborghini because, by the way, go to Texas. You ain't all driving Lamborghinis because Bijan's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Be a Heisman candidate. Maybe you can drive a Lambo. So, and that it is a selling point to recruits. And I'm not saying they're doing it wrong. That's actually doing it right. I just think for their culture down there and what has held them back is exactly this. So it's like they're going to benefit from NIL because they're going to go out and pour in and spend. But I also think they might suffer as much as anybody. And when you got a head coach that's trying to do fashion shows with the ugliest pregame outfits I've ever seen, with white pants with burnt orange stripes down them, and they're worried about being, taking pictures with Matthew McConaughey before the game. It's why you lose. They haven't figured that out yet.
All right, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Billy, what can we give the viewers here in our post-show little Marvel feel at the end of it, the post-credit scene? What's something we can give them? You made fun of me quite a bit about my limp.
Quite a bit.
A lot. Every time you see me, it's about the limp, but that's okay.
That's not true.
Actually, you've actually stopped, and I've brought it up recently.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because I felt bad because you admitted
that I went to my wife.
Yeah, you told me you went to your wife. I'm like, oh man, we've broken him.
Yeah, you've broken me.
You literally walked and had her see if you were limping or not.
But can I ask you?
It happened, and so I stopped.
Yeah, you did stop. So I brought it upon myself. But that's what we do. But can I get you to?
Rahil's going to be the ultimate judge of this when we get him on.
Oh, we're going to get him on soon. Any big shooter thoughts when the first time you heard that?
Big shooter?
What did you think immediately?
I thought it's a perfect nickname for him. I thought Zane tried to put words in Slosh's mouth, and he tried to he gabed it, as I call it, where he took his narrative and tried to get the coach that he was interviewing to agree with it. And typically they don't want to do that when it's a negative thing about the team, especially when they don't agree with it. And Slosh gave him the reasons why he didn't agree with it, and it made perfect sense.
Slow down there, big shooter.
And ended up with a careful there, big shooter.
Because
he knew exactly what I was thinking when that came out. And so he was like, you thought you were going to make me say we sucked in the first couple of them. It don't work that way.
No.
So it was good. It was good to see. But here's the deal. If you're a coach, do it like that. It was fun. It was fun. Yeah. It wasn't in a way to make him think he didn't like Zane.
Yeah.
But it was like, hey, I'm going to point out to you that I disagree here. And then gave the explanation. I thought it was really good, and it was a fun moment and a great moment for us because now Zane's got a new nickname.
All right, I'm off to see Dr. Strange. Thanks,
I might go see Dr. Strange before you.
I don't think you will.
I'm going to try.
All right, I'll see you at the
I
gym.
don't even want to see it. I just want to spite you.
Yeah, that sounds right. We'll see you guys
I
next time.
might limp into the studio.